You're watching the Coaches Roundtable on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Welcome to Coaches Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi, and welcome our guest, the National Hockey League's best color analyst from AT&T Sports, Pittsburgh Penguins analyst Jay Caulfield. Jay, before we get to last night's devastating loss, let's look at Sunday's game in New York, a 4-1 loss. The Islanders played like the team that has the best home record in the National Hockey League, taking advantage of the Pens' penalties and mistakes for that 4-1 win. But then coming home, and they tie the series 2-2, you thought, well, the Pens will be ready. They're going to come out ready to play, and they did. And any other night, the way they dominated, they're going to beat anyone in the league. So how devastating a loss was that last night, Jay, in double overtime, 3-2?
Yeah, I think, first of all, Ed, thanks for having me on. I want to say, I think they realize and know how good of a game they did play. I believe the attempts, and I always look at the attempts, Ed, because anything that means you're possessing the puck, you're holding on to pucks in the offensive zone. The Penguins had 80 plus, and the Islanders are in the 40 category. And they really doubled them up and everything, but again, at the end of the day, they were on the wrong side. So I think as a group, though, they know they got 2 games left. It's not over. It's 3-2, and I think you just take one game at a time. I think when I heard the interviews last night, Ed, I thought each guy was kind of fired up and had enough of, any negativity. They just want to get by it. Just going to go on. They're going to go in and try and win a game and then bring it back to Pittsburgh. I think that's their mentality. And I think the people thing, if it's on the upside, if they come through this, I think it's going to be that kind of attitude. They're like, let's move on. We're the better team tonight, and we need to play the same way the rest of the way.
Jay, let's talk about the goalies. Tristan Jarry last night, he played well enough for the Pens to win on any given night, but he seems to be the whipping boy for a lot of the media and fans. To hold them to just 2 goals through 3 periods and then a 4th period in the first overtime, the Pens should have won that game the way he played, and yet he gets a lot of the blame when they lose.
Yeah. Yeah, it's certainly, look, there's going to be somebody, right? There's always going to be somebody to point anybody's group, people start to look at it. What's the mistake, or what are we not getting? Another goaltender's playing outstanding, and Tristan Jarry was solid, and then you get the one that's by him, the mistake handled, what he did in overtime is something that I'm sure he's reliving it and wondering, he knew he had other options. And I think in that, you're right. The Penguins could have won and never even got to that point. They didn't have luck on their side when listen, Sorokin was very good. The Penguins had clear-cut, grade A chances to win the game, and the guy came up big. I mean, it wasn't like a lack of guys bearing down. I thought Chris Letang had won. I thought Gaudreau with the deflection could have won it. There was a little bit of luck on Sorokin and just skill. So you move from there and you look at Jarry, and here he is. He doesn't get tested as much. And then when it goes against you, and Ed, like I said, I think I'll talk all the time. When you're in these type of games and it's tight, your decision-making is extremely important, right? The mistakes that you make turn into goals, all that kind of stuff. But when you're playing, if there's a play and there's it's a question mark about it, it's that phrase, live the fight another day. You got to keep it real simple, just like a player does. When he doesn't have a play at the blue line going in, you don't try and force something, especially in overtime. You get it deep. And the Islanders are, for example, do that to perfection. They very rarely turn the puck over going into the zone. They get it deep and get on their forecheck. That's one, in my opinion, with Tristan Jarry. Hey, he forced it up the middle, and they clogged that up. So he forced it up the middle. It got picked off. Next, it's in the back of the net. A tough one. It was a tough one. He had options. He could have went to Matheson, maybe wheeled around behind the back of the net, whatever it was. He tried something, it didn't work, and now he is the focal point because people across the board don't feel that they're getting the goaltending they need. I think he's been solid, and just a couple get by him. It was a shame in game one, though, Ed. The glove saves, they got by him. Ones that he definitely, I'll make one more point, Ed. When you're a goaltender, you're going in the NHL, it's the toughest position in sports. But you have to be stellar. You have to be solid. You have to make the saves you're expected to. You need to steal a few. You just can't let in the soft goal. And through 5 games, it's kind of worked against Tristan Jarry in that. I think he's going to rebound and be good, and he kind of needs to for himself and for this team to move on.
And you mentioned goaltending, the rookie Ilya Sorokin. He's been an iron gate against the Pens. He hasn't gotten flustered. 48 saves in a 3-2 win. I don't think anyone expected him to play at the level that he's playing at as a rookie.
Yeah, and he's an older, he's 25, and he's certainly in the NHL. He's been phenomenal. The pairing between he and Varlamov have been very, very good throughout the year. That's one of the reasons why the Islanders are where they're at. Sorokin's getting the look because Varlamov has a problem. He can't solve the Penguins, or the Penguins solve him. They're up 3-2, and he's the main reason why. Now, the last game, his second win, he wasn't tested that much, but he still came up with a number of big saves inside that performance, game 4 performance, where I think across the board, people didn't feel like the Penguins just didn't have their energy that we're used to seeing. But his other wins, his first win of the series, last night, he was outstanding. And that's what you need. If you're a team, you need – that's what I was making a point. You need your goaltender to steal games. And Sorokin's done that.
Hey, Jay, let me ask you, what is it that Barry Trotz is doing to nullify the Pens' first line? Russ finally got a goal last night. Is it the size differential with his defenders, or is it a lot more than that? Maybe Trotz isn't getting enough credit for what he's doing defensively against the Pens' first line. He's pretty much nullified them in this series.
Well, I think it's up to each individual that he sends out on the ice. They're not making mistakes. They're making sure, Ed, that they're not turning the puck over in the areas that will feed a transition game of the Penguins. Then if you get into normal play and the Penguins are possessing the puck, they're doing a good job of shutting things off, beating guys, trying to win battles, not getting beat. If you make a hit in the corner, not get beat back to the front of the net. They've been very good. I mean, the deep pairings against them, solid. They're big, strong, mobile. All those guys, and it's whether, and I think we're always here, Ed. Mike Sullivan will always say he doesn't care about matchups because he feels Sidney Crosby and their group will win them. Right now, it's just been very quiet. They've had their chances. They haven't broken through. You said you hope it kind of falls and needs to fall in Game 6, where the floodgates maybe open up. But I think it's just about guys understanding how they need to play the game. You cannot give them a lot of room. And everybody wants to throw out space and time. Basically, for me, they're the same thing. If you give somebody space, they got time. You don't want them to have room. So they're going to stay close to them. Make sure once they make a pass and they love the give and go game to the Penguins, that you don't allow that to take place. And I think they've sliced that up. They've done a great job on it. And then if it goes the other way, you possess the puck and hold on to it and make them work 200 feet to get back out of their zone. I mean, because if you make them work and you pen somebody in, Ed, they can't get in. And once, maybe after 30 seconds, you've exhausted that line. By the time it goes the other way, they need to make a change. The Islanders think that way. And I think it's certainly a good process. I still think eventually these guys are going to break through. Jake Gensel being one of them. He's a big part of why that line flies. And he needs to have that breakout game. I thought it would have been last night, to be honest, but it's going to need to be Game 6, Ed.
Jay, if I'm hearing you correctly, you don't foresee any changes that Sullivan will make going into Game 6.
I don't. When you had a performance like you did, I wouldn't change. I don't even know what you would change. I really don't. I mean, there's not a goaltender. I mean, Jarry's the guy. Defensively, they've had the same 3 pairs for 30-plus games. I know guys want to knock Pedersen, and he's not the problem. So they just haven't been able to put the puck in the net when they need to. Also, line combinations up front, I'm not changing a thing. I wouldn't. If they want to find, I don't know what else. I keep Gaudreau, and Gaudreau's effective. So I don't know who would be vulnerable, Ed, to come out of that lineup. I think guys need to perform and pick it up. And if you're that guy that falls in that category in the mirror and go, I need to have my best game here tomorrow night. And I think you stay the same because truly, as we talked in our opening, Ed, they dominated the game last night. But the score sheet says other.
Hey, Jay, once again, thank you. You're the best in the business. Always appreciate your insight and taking time to come on the show. And let's go to New York and tie this series up.
You got it, Ed. Hey, great to talk to you, too. I always enjoy it. Take care.
Thanks, Jay. I'll be right back with Al and George.
High school sports, community events, all of your favorite local shows are calling the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel their home. Find out everything your neighborhood has to offer on Channel 100 or on YouTube. Spirit, town pride, local communities. This is the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
I am back, joined to my right by the Swami, George Abraham, to my left, the Tiger, Albert Campman. Let's go to Spotlight High School Track and Field Championships. Everything coming to an end here early in June. It'll be all over, all the championships. WPL District 7 at Slippery Rock University. I was up there. There was a huge crowd up there for the event. Guinness Brown of Butler won the 100 and the 200. CJ Singleton of Butler won the 3200. Skylar Vavro of Butler won the 1600. Landon Kreitzer of Butler won the javelin. And Butler won the 3200 relay. 6 gold medals for the Tornado. Tyler Urich of Seneca Valley. He was second in the 100, losing to Brown by 0.08 seconds. That's how close that race was.
Those races are exciting when you got guys that close. It really is.
And then Urich went on to place second in the long jump, and he anchored Seneca Valley's winning 400 relay team. A great day for him. And the upset of the day, people were talking about the stunning performance. Gage Galuska of Hampton beat Guinness Brown of Butler in the 400. And no one saw that coming.
Yeah, this time of year, you run into you taper your workouts, all of a sudden major improvements that happen. That's what happens at track and field all the time. Expect more of it at the state meet.
And people get pumped up for these events.
Or the antithesis, one bad day.
Yeah.
Works both ways.
And then, you're at the end of the season here. You're competing in every meet in 3 events. Sometimes you get worn down. Mm-hmm. Dwayne Taylor of North Allegheny, he won the triple jump. He was third in the long jump. And in girls 3A, Emma Lehman of Butler, she won the 300 hurdles, and she was third in the 100 hurdles. Pine Richland won the 3200 relay. Meredith Price of Pine Richland was second in the 3200. Gianna Ritelli of Pine Richland was second in the javelin. Boys District 7 WPL 2A, how about Trevor Pascal? He's been great all year. The only time he has lost the 100, it's been the Guinness Brown. Mm-hmm. He won 4 events for North Catholic, the 100, 200, 400, and anchored the winning 400 relay team. Teddy McHale of Riverside won the pole vault. Riverside won the 1600 relay. Girls 2A, Nadia Lape of Mohawk, she won the triple jump. George, is she a basketball player too?
Absolutely.
Outstanding basketball player.
It's going to West Point.
West Point.
Wow.
Number one in her class. Number one in her class, too.
Amazing, huh?
State
Great.
final in basketball.
Great to hear that. Mohawk won the 400 relay, and Tara Lucott of North Catholic, she was second in the 400. District 9 Track and Field Championships 3A, sophomore Riley Long of Montauk, she won the triple jump. Bailey Blauser of AC Valley, she was second in the long jump. She participated with a injured ankle. Haley Campbell of Montauk, second in the high jump. Ashley Fox of Karn City, second in the javelin. Boys, Tanner Merwin of AC Valley, he won the long jump. Alex Bell of Montauk, second in the 300 hurdles. Nathan Waltman of Karn City, second in the shot. David Stam of Montauk, second in the javelin. And Hayden Smith of Union Reimersburg, he was first in the high jump. District 10 Track and Field Championships, Slippery Rock High School girls, they won the District 10 2A by edging out Wilmington 78-76. Wilmington must have some outstanding athletes too. Always in football and track. Marianne Ackerman, she won the javelin and the discus, and Anna Kadlubik, she won the 100 and 200. And at the Mercer County meet, she broke her own record in the 200. In boys 3A, Ethan Fulmer of Slippery Rock High School, he won the high jump and the triple jump. And in baseball, WPIL 6A playoffs quarterfinals, Butler threw out a couple of C's, but they got A performances from Maddox Clement, who went 3 for 4, and Madden Clement, who pitched a 3-hitter in a 5-1 win over Mount Lebanon. North Allegheny 12, Upper St. Clair 2. Danny Gellin had 3 hits and 4 RBI for the Tigers. Pitcher Kyle Demi had 7 Ks. Butler and NA will meet for the 4th time this year in the semis.
You know what came across there of all the information? Slippery Rock boys are 3A, Slippery Rock girls are 2A.
I know. I had
Night and day difference.
I know.
Those
Checking
qualifying times and distances, big difference.
Yeah, and
One of them's going against NA and one of them's going against Monito
it's such a change
because of the classification. Yeah.
Baseball 4A WPL North Catholic 7, Elizabeth Forward 1. Pitcher Justin Stubka, 4-hitter with 10 Ks. District 9, Dawson Wallace of Montauk, 3 hits and 3 RBI. WPL softball playoffs 6A, Pine Richland 6, Mount Lebanon 1. Pitcher Gabby Otten, 12 Ks. She's headed to Boston College. And a 4A pitcher Sydney Selker, Freeport. She struck out 11 in a tough 3-2 loss to York. District 9, Ashley Fox of Karn City, 4 RBI. Gara Malochik of Karn City, 3 hits. Lexi Bauer, of AC Valley, 4 hits. Andrea Mills of AC Valley, 3 hits. Pitcher Courtney Stewart, she's been stellar all year for Montauk. She threw a 1-hitter with 9 Ks. Kenzie Parks, AC Valley, 3 hits. And Emma Covert of Montauk, 3 hits and 3 RBI. In boys lacrosse and 2A WPL playoffs, Wes Scurry of Mars, 11 goals in a 29-3 win over Franklin Regional. Powerful lacrosse team for Mars. And in volleyball semis, North Allegheny would take on Hempfield. Seneca Valley would take on Penn Trafford. College track and field from Trib Sports. The Knock Nest Monster, Jordan Geist, University of Arizona, overcoming COVID. He was the main Pac-12 postseason award as the men's field athlete of the year. This is the 3rd time he's won it. He won his 3rd straight Pac-12 shot put title. He ranks 5th in the NCAA. He was runner-up in the hammer throw. Next up, the NCAA West Regional, and then getting ready for the Olympics in Tokyo.
I talked to him the other day by text. He's just starting to feel better again. He must have been down.
Yes. Well.
Yeah, we don't think of young people a lot of times, young, strong, but he was sick.
And in high school basketball, Dave DiGregorio, he leaves North Catholic to return to North Allegheny, where he won 272 games, 5 section titles, and made the playoffs 11 times in 12 years.
That is so interesting. I'd like to be the fabric behind that. Leaving, coming, leaving, coming.
And the other guy, Dan DeRose, was there 1 year, and he was gone for personal
reasons. It's crazy.
It's guaranteed he was. They can say what they want.
Yeah. There's a reason.
But David, kids were coming up, right? And next thing you know, they did. He went and coached his boys.
What did he win? 1 or 2 WPL championships at North? I know he won at least one.
I think he won one. I think
he won at least one.
He's a fine coach. That'll really make a difference, I would think, long term. And I don't know about the first year, starting over, but guaranteed it'll make a difference.
And our stories of the week. We turn to the National Hockey League. Let's go to Sunday. The Islanders and rookie goalie Ilya Sorokin stopped the Pens 4-1 on Sunday. The second win for Sorokin to tie the series at 2-2. Pens had no energy on Sunday, so they come home. PPG, they come out fired up, filled with energy, played great, and they lose in double overtime 3-2. It was a battle of the goalies between Jari and rookie Ilya Sorokin. It came down to who was going to make a mistake there at the end. Sorokin stopped 48 of 50 shots. I think the Pens outshot them like 50-30, something like that. They did everything you should do in a hockey game to win and came up with the loss. And the first line guys, give me your take. Crosby, Gensel, and Russ, they have struggled. Russ finally scored a goal. You see some of the difference of defenders for the Islanders. I think those 3 average about 5'11", 6 foot, but they got a couple 6'3", 6'4" guys they put out there on them, and that has really hurt the Pens. Malkin did get a goal, but it just wasn't enough.
Played great. That's just the bounces of the puck went against them 7 times. The goalie didn't even know where the puck was, and it hit him. There's a lot of luck involved. Yeah, that game, the Penguins play again like the next game, they'll win that game if they play like they did. But can they come back with the same energy and a hot goal to get you?
Let me ask you, I just watch it. I saw that one go in with under a minute in the period. That was,
that's a killer. That's a lapse.
Let me ask you, I put on after the game, these guys are just killing the goalie. They didn't score 2 goals in 4 periods.
Right.
Can you blame it?
He gives easy goals. That's
what I knew.
That's
I knew
why.
you were going to say.
Yeah, he gives easy goals. He gives
the
goals that shouldn't have
last
happened.
one was a mistake, but still, when you're going against a rookie goalie and you get 50 shots, all the pressure becomes on Jari being at home at Mount. He can't make a mistake. And that's what happened earlier.
Say it about Cole pitching for the Pirates. Couldn't give up a run because he knew they wouldn't score.
Well, it's like a team's winning 14-0 in football when 10 seconds ago they give up a long bomb for a touchdown. And that goal there with 50 seconds left, they beat the Pens down the ice and got that goal. The Pens just didn't hustle on that play. They didn't give Jari any help.
Yeah, sometimes that happens, though. But I watched the whole game. Penguins played tremendous.
Me too.
They played tremendous. There's nothing you can say. A coach cannot say, well, they did everything right. They checked. They forechecked. They were dug in the corners. They put shots on goal. They played great defense in front. They did everything right and lost. Think about that. That's all you got to know.
And you would have thought the way they started out, they were going to score 4 or 5 goals.
Well, the goalie was hot.
Yeah.
Lucky and hot, both.
He's 3-0 now against the Pens.
Lucky and hot.
Hey, let me
You
ask
would think a rookie would lose something, would be rattled at some
Crosby
point.
not scoring anything in it at all?
I think it's the defense. You give those other guys some credit too. They put a 6'3" guy on top of him.
Right, all over. I'm watching, but I'm just watching. I'm not.
There's a disparity there between the Pens first line and the size of the defenders that they're going against. Obviously, it must be. And no one wants. Let's give the coach for the Islanders, Barry Trotz, some credit for what he's done. He's a pretty good coach.
Oh, he's a great coach, but so is Sullivan.
Yeah.
And Sunday, the Penguins didn't play. Last night, they could have beat any team in hockey. It just didn't go their way. Sometimes it happens. It's happening many times.
So they can't win then.
They'll be favored to win.
Wednesday night?
Oh, yes.
In the Islanders.
That's how much better they play than.
I say it favors the Islanders because they have the best home record in the National Hockey League. They have a lot of momentum. That doesn't mean the Pens can't win. I just think there's a slight favorite there with them. And there's some statistic out there. Whoever wins the 5th game, 75% of the time they go on and win the series.
It makes sense because you got to win 2
That's
if you
big.
lose.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's mathematics too. I mean,
right.
If you lose it, you got to win twice.
And then mentally, you played that well, and then you still lost.
That'd be tough.
Boston eliminates Washington in 5 games with a 3-1 win on Sunday. Boston moves on to the second round. Their goalie, Toluca Rask, has been so good in the net during that series. He had 40 saves in that 3-1 win. And the Colorado Avalanche, they beat St. Louis 5-2 to broom that series. A little bit of a surprise there. Boston is a team that can they play a different style than the Islanders or the Pens. They're not a speed team as much, but they're very physical.
Yeah, and they got guys, veterans, who've really been there a long time and know how to play. And Colorado's playing the best of any. In the playoffs so far, Colorado's been the dominant team.
And Tampa Bay's doing well, but Nikita Kucherov's been injured, a leg injury. They don't know the seriousness of it. And that's what happens in the playoffs. You get a key injury like that, and it changes everything. Hell, Major League Baseball, the Pirates 18-28 bombed in Atlanta, allowing the Braves a Major League Baseball record of 15 home runs in the 4-game series. The Pirates took the first game 6-4, and then they were outscored. I think it was 33-3 the rest of the way. In the 20-1 loss, the Braves hit 7 home runs and 2 grand slams. So you ask, are the Braves that good? I think they lead the majors in home runs, but my goodness, ball's just flying out of the ballpark.
Well, it's not the Braves are that good. It's how bad the Pirates are, and it's going to starting to catch up with. Right now, 10 games under. By 3 weeks from now, we'll be talking 20 games under. That's just the way. That's where they are. It's hard to win when you don't have good pitching or good hitting, and it's hard to stay in there. Their bullpen has been so good and bailed them out.
But you can't keep bringing out 5 or 6 pitchers every game
out
of the bullpen.
No, 40 pitches an inning. Next thing you know, I was driving the other day and I saw Zambelli had an emergency meeting. Like Atlanta had run them out of fireworks, and
Yeah.
they had to order more and get them down there in Atlanta by the next game.
The next 3 games, the Pirates go against the Cubs. That's not good. Guys, tell me what's no hitters, 6 this season. Is this an aberration? Are there more to come? Is it good pitching, poor hitting? I saw this stat. The Major League Baseball this year is on pace to have the fewest hits in a season since 1908.
Bill Bourne.
Bill Bourne
for
was
the
there.
White Sox.
I mean, that's 113 years of history.
There's more no hitters coming, just the way because of the style of the game. As you know, anybody who watches baseball can tell you that all 9 hitters are trying to hit the ball out of the park, not worrying about getting a single, not worrying about hitting the ball on the ground, and pitchers are throwing high ball. They've learned throw the ball above the belt. They can't come up with it. They can't stay with it. It's just a runaway freight
It's
train.
6 no hitters, but this early into the season, we're not
Pace
even
for
into June.
24-0. We're not to third yet.
What would Koufax and Gibson? They might throw 6 apiece if they were pitching today.
And I was telling Al, I heard something interesting. Smoltz was on MLB, and he said, we had guys that tried to jock the ball, too, down on the knob. He said, but the 7, 8, and 9 hitters tried
Right.
to get on base. He said, not today.
Same thing with the Yankees. That's what Mantle said. He tried to crush every ball, but you had other players on that team who were good, solid hitters who didn't do that. They understood. Mantle knew his role.
Well, there's no rules today. Yeah. The only role is your agents say hit home runs. Analytics say that's what analytics say, and I'm not an analytic guy, and everybody knows that. But that's why there's no hitters. Throwing no hitters, because all 1 through 9 are saying the analytics say we win with home runs and walks. We don't win with hits.
And I agree with you. And I forget who said it. Maybe it was Smoltz said there are too many throwers today. They all want to know, I'm throwing the ball 98. I'm throwing the ball 99. He says, but changing speeds, change-ups, the other pitches, it's just not there. Like I heard Warren Spahn said he never pitched a batter the same way when he faced him in the game 4 times. Never pitched them the same way.
You don't have to do that today. I made that statement already.
Because of the way they're
because
swinging.
they swing.
Right.
Yeah. They just say throw up 4 seam it above the belt, and they can't hit it. And that's just the facts of life.
Hey guys, let's look at something called the unwritten rules of the game. The Chicago White Sox were leading Minnesota 15-4, and Minnesota used a position player to save their bullpen, or they didn't have a bullpen to pitch the White Sox hitter Yerman Mercedes, and he belted a 3-0, 50-mile-per-hour fastball for a home run. Did Mercedes do anything wrong? Did he break some rule? Is it wrong for him to swing on a 3-0 pitch leading 15-4?
I don't like it because I'm old school, but that's not the problem I don't like. It's the problem that the manager said don't swing, and he looked at him and said, I'm swinging.
Yeah. Did he fine him? What did he do with him?
I don't know what happened. You have your own choice in baseball if you think that you should swing or not swing.
And here's what I don't like, because I can remember this, like with the Pirates at Murtaugh. If you were up 10-2, it's the 8th inning. You didn't steal a base. No, you just didn't do that. And I don't. Teams are up 11-2, 7th inning. Guy hits a home run. He flips the bat and stares at it. And back in those days, next time you were coming up or the next batter coming up was getting decked.
Yeah, and that's an automatic. You know it's coming too, because that's the way baseball was played. I told George 20 years, last 20 years, I looked it up. 20 years, 557 batters, 3-0 count, up 10 runs or more. All 557 took it. This is the first guy that swung the ball. So it's just it's an unwritten rule. The kid would probably think,
but Al was more upset with his disobeying of the coach.
Right, absolutely.
Way more upset.
Hey, guys, let's finish with this. I don't want to miss a PGA championship. South Carolina, at age 50, Phil Mickelson becomes the oldest golfer to win a major championship in 161 years of championship golf. I enjoyed watching it on Sunday. It was spectacular. It's his 6th major victory, 45th tour win. He finished at 282, won by 2. Next comes up the U.S. Open, which he's finished, second 3 times or 4 times?
His home course, isn't it? His own course.
Torrey Pines. Torrey Pines. It's always been my belief, if you won 5 majors, that was outstanding career for you. He's won 6.
Yeah.
I really like him. Yeah, he is a Hall of Famer. Hey, that's it for us. We've run out of time. We'll see you next week.